All right, we're back with part two. Another video recapping Sunday's madness in week. What are we in? Week
10,
10?
week 10. Come on.
Yes. All right, so the Chiefs game. That was such an interesting game for me because as a Clyde owner, I was not happy. Clyde Edwards-Helaire has officially lost the job to Isaiah Pacheco. Isaiah Pacheco had 16 touches while Mr. Clyde Edwards-Helaire laid up a goose egg with a double goose egg for 0 points and 0 touches. What do we think about Clyde rest of the season? Is he a drop? Is he worth rostering?
Send him to Dumpsville. That's what I say. I don't even have Clyde Edwards-Helaire on my team. I didn't touch.
They're lucky.
Yeah, I didn't even touch the Chiefs backfield. I know Puerto Rico has Clyde on his team. He hasn't dropped him yet because that's a 14-team league. You know, I knew that not new, but I only want Chiefs receivers. You know, Kelsey, Juju. You know, anyone who's catching the ball from Pat Mahomes. That's who I want on my team. I don't want the running game. I'm not into it because they're a pass heavy team. And Patty Mahomes, he's a goat.
Yes, he did great today. 4 touchdowns, 1 interception while losing Juju, his Call of Duty partner, to a concussion.
I was mad about that. Mad the
Went
whole
out
day.
with
Mad
two
the
of
whole day.
fingers. Juju was like knocked out. And my poor guy. But hey, MVS stepped up and ended up looking real nice with McCall Hartman out, Juju out. Actually, MVS scored a touchdown while Juju was in.
Yep.
The guy stepped up. Kadarius Toney actually looked good. We'll bring him up in a second.
Yes.
I just want to clarify. I would never drop Clyde in a big dynasty roster where you're rostering 20 plus people. Don't drop him. 14 team. I don't drop him. In a 12 team league, 6, 7 bench spots, I'm still not dropping him. I want a clarification for a few weeks that this is Isaiah Pacheco's backfield, but I disagree with Tyler because I would start Isaiah Pacheco in a bye week filler type situation, or maybe you're desperate at running back. I would start Pacheco, and I wouldn't hesitate. 16 touches in a Kansas City-led offense with Pat Mahomes, all those firepower weapons they have. They're going to be leading most games. That's a running back that I want getting 16 touches. He's going to get some in the red zone. I want that all day. Jerick McKinnon has taken over the second running back role. Pacheco's number 1, Clyde's number 3. Bench Clyde until further notice. I think Clyde might just be a handcuff. You wait for Pacheco to maybe get hurt, then you can maybe play Clyde. But right now, I believe in Pacheco, and I like him rest of the season. I think he's the top 30 running back, and that's a flex play, especially
You know,
my guy.
might change my mind a little bit after what you just said because that is a high powered offense.
A lot of points.
And maybe you're right. You're probably right there. If you don't have room for him, drop him. But I guess keep him on your bench just in case, because you never know what could happen.
Yeah, just a general piece of advice. Now, Tyler was talking about Clyde. Don't drop Pacheco. Don't even consider it. If he's on your
No,
waivers,
yeah,
spend a lot of your fab to get
Clyde.
him. Use your waiver claims to get him. When it comes to Clyde, just general waiver advice. Look at whoever your best running back in free agency is available. Look at their roster percentage. Look at what they're projected. If it's way above what Clyde is going to drop down to, then yeah, you could drop Clyde probably. But you're probably in a shallow league. In a regular 12-team league with 6, 7 bench spots, the best running back in my league is like it's like Latavius Murray. I'm not
Chase
dropping
Edmonds
Clyde.
in mine. Chase Edmonds, he scored 1.9 points.
Yeah, you don't want guys like that. I'd rather just wait and hold out and see for sure that Clyde is done multiple weeks in a row. But just to clarify on Pacheco, it's not like they're in a committee. Jerick McKinnon gets a little bit of work. Clyde, 0 touches compared to 16. That's not a committee. That is full blown. Pacheco got the role. Will he get it next week? I can't guarantee that, but I am going to take the risk, spend a lot of my fab budget on him because we have a few weeks left. What he's waiting for? There's not going to be many starting running backs left. Go out and get Pacheco now. Try to trade for him before it's too late. But on to the next Kansas City guy I want to talk about that stepped up. Kadarius Toney, man. We brought up Juju. He got hurt. Hartman has looked great, but he was hurt. He didn't play. MVS is really sketchy up or down, but Toney looked great. What do you think of Toney rest of the season?
Kadarius Toney said that his favorite teammate is Patty Mahomes with that little face he made.
Yeah,
they might have some chemistry here. They didn't trade for him for a reason, or they traded for him for a reason. My apologies, but he scored a touchdown today. I don't how many fantasy points did he have? Let's see. I watched part of the game. It wasn't on TV. I watched it on Red Zone.
Yeah, Tony Romo was announcing that one, so you always got to listen to that. That was actually his first career touchdown for Tony.
Yeah. Let's see.
So I'm expecting, he's a bye-week filler.
He had
I don't
19
expect no
fantasy
better.
points. Wow. If Juju's out, he could be a bye week filler. I wouldn't be starting him because I can't trust him yet. The only players I'm trusting in that offense is Travis Kelce, Juju Smith-Schuster, and of course Patty Mahomes.
Absolutely. I just wanted to clarify, if you're in a deeper league where you're like a dynasty league where you're starting 3 wide receivers and 3 flex, I'm starting Tony. I'm in that situation in my dynasty super flex league that I run by myself, and I'm definitely smashed starting Tony, whether or not Juju plays or not. I think if Juju doesn't play and Hardman is out, I think Tony's a start in regular leagues. I'd see him in the top 30 wide receiver next week if both of those guys are out. If Juju plays, it's kind of falling more to the 36-40 range. So that's where he's more of a bye week filler. But, just keep an eye on Juju's health and we'll see. If Tony does this 2 weeks in a row, we might have to really take him seriously.
Yeah, we play in a weird dynasty league where we play with kickers, defenses, and 1 flex. So we've been talking about to the commish about improving that. So, but that's a topic for a different day.
Absolutely. Yeah, we'll have to do a dynasty video one of these days where
What
we
do
have.
you got for me next, Tony Montana? What do you got? Shoot.
All right, so the next thing I want to talk about, we talked about MVS and Hardman being out. The next thing I want to talk about is Kelce. He does it again week after week. He's just proving he's the top guy at tight end. I have talked to you a little bit about this, but I just want to get your opinion. If we're redrafting for next season, where would you take Kelce? PPR or have PPR? You can pick one of them.
Okay. Yeah, PPR. I like PPR. That's my favorite format. At the 1.01 or the first pick, I'm picking Austin Eckler.
Yeah, you don't have to give me your whole top list.
Okay.
Just where would you take Kelce?
Probably around the 6 to 9 range, maybe 5, top 5 or 5 to 9 range. 4 if you're really big on tight ends.
Okay, that's respectable. I agree with the first part you said, where it's 4 to 6. That's exactly where I would take him. I love Kelce. The advantage he gives you week in and week out is
Yeah.
unmatched, and he's proving it this year. He's carrying my Yahoo team. I believe I'm gonna win this week, and shout out Travis Kelce, man. He's awesome, and I wish I had
You
more.
seen the name that
Yeah, it got some people mad at me in the league because I'm beating them down. But hey, that's what I do for a living. That's why I'm out here giving y'all advice.
the name he put. Man.
Yeah, that guy's a clown, but that's why I'm beating him down. All right, so let's switch to the other team, the team that got the beat down from the Chiefs, the Jaguars. ETN with quite a disappointing performance.
That was your start of the week.
It's one of my 3.
Yeah.
That was my only miss of the week, by the way. I'd like to point out Adam Thielen was terrible. All my other hits were great. Foreman was great. I forget who else I said, but I nailed everything except for ETN, which is just a shame. None of us saw it coming. How do you feel about ETN rest of the season? Top 10? Top
Yeah,
15,
he'll
top
be
5?
okay. He'll be okay.
Just
He'll be
okay?
No, he'll be good. He'll be good. Don't worry about him.
ETN or Walker rest of the season?
They're pretty much even. I remember we talked about doing a trade with them, but it's like for what? They're even, in my opinion, at least.
I agree with that. I think I'd probably put ETN a spot or 2 higher, just because I trust the Jaguars more than Geno
But
Smith.
let me say this: Kenneth Walker was used in the passing game a lot more today. I believe he had 6 receptions, 8 targets, and that's the most he's had. So if they keep that going, along with his rushing ability, he's going to be dangerous. I just think it was a bad game for the Seahawks. He's already dangerous.
Well, my counter argument there is what he's done against the 2 good rushing defenses that he's played. 10 rushes for 17 yards. That is abysmal. That makes Najee Harris look like one of the best running backs.
He had 99 rushing yards today, though.
Yeah, he did. No, he did good. And
9.9 fantasy points, though, so not a good fantasy day.
So Tampa is actually
6 targets or 6 receptions, 8 targets for 55 yards.
Tampa is 4th for stopping the run, stopping running backs from
Mhm.
scoring in fantasy. And you saw it today with Ken Walker rushing the ball. And the other hard matchup he had was the Giants. The
Giants.
Giants are ranked seventh against running backs in fantasy. He had 18 rushes for 51 yards, which is terrible.
But he still got in the end zone. Anything had
And
one
that
reception
saved
that
it.
day.
But you can, just like with Jonathan Taylor, you can never count on one touchdown a game. It's almost impossible pace to keep up. That's my worry with Walker. That's why I'd slightly lean with ETN. Sure, the passing game he got helped a little, but let's see if he can do that every week. ETN is definitely way more explosive in the pass game, but they're not passing him the ball for some reason. Which is
Lawrence looked good though. He got sacked, I think, 4 or 5 times. He threw 2 touchdowns, 259 yards, ran the ball. Lawrence looks way better than he did last year.
absolutely. Lawrence starts to look like that number one overall pick. But what
Yeah.
I was going to say before is ETN's not really getting the ball from Lawrence passing wise because of this guy that I want to talk about who had a phenomenal game. What a rebound game for Christian Kirk. 2
Mm.
touchdowns, over 100 yards. Christian Kirk exploded. One of the guys I wish I drafted more of. One of the best sleeper picks of the entire season.
Yep.
Kirk has really been balling out this season. So I want to ask you a few would you rather Christian Kirk. I want to talk about some of the guys that we didn't mention from some of the games we already talked about. What do you think, Christian Kirk or Mike Evans the rest of the season?
I think Mike Evans is he's a dog. He's a dog. Big body.
Do you trust Tom Brady more than Trevor Lawrence? Because Brady has more weapons to throw to than Lawrence does, and Brady has looked worse than Lawrence.
Yeah, but they look good today. And they looked good at the end of that game last week.
Did he look good though? As you know, like he didn't look phenomenal. An interception, 2 touchdowns. It was an average performance. It's 17 fantasy points. It's not that good. Lawrence outscored him.
Mhm.
You know,
I'm not Christian Kirk. I mean, he's been good, but I didn't even pick him. Like, he was on the Cardinals last year and didn't do anything. And all of a sudden, like I thought he was hot garbage.
it's because the targets. I have 2 shares of Kirk, and I wish I had a lot more. I could have traded with Alan Lazard for him, but this is when Kirk was looking bad, so I declined. Lazard was looking like Aaron Rodgers' #1 weapon. We'll get to that later. But I think right now I might take. I don't like what I've seen from Evans. I think I'd take Christian Kirk over Mike Evans the rest of the season. What about Chris Godwin or Christian Kirk?
Finally,
Finally, a touchdown for Godwin.
We're waiting for that.
Yes.
I mean, Chris Godwin has been great though. Like besides not scoring a touchdown, he sees
I wouldn't say great.
He sees 10 targets a game.
Yes,
He has
true.
a lot of receptions. He just
Not many yards. No yards, no
not many
touchdowns.
yards.
Yes.
Touchdowns just haven't been there. If the Bucks turn it around, they're going to be dangerous. And he said that he feels more like himself.
So Godwin or Kirk rest of the season?
Well, if I picked Evans, I'd pick Evans over Godwin. So I guess
that's why I put them in order. Yep.
Yeah. Maybe I'll go. Maybe I'll make it fun. Make it go with Kirk, just because he's the #1 over there. He's the number one over there.
He's #1. There's less competition, and I just like Lawrence better than Brady, believe it or not. And Godwin's injury risk is a lot higher. You're talking to someone that Godwin was by far my most drafted player on all my 25 leagues. I drafted Godwin 12 or 13 times. I love that man, and he has been a little bit of a letdown for me. I think he's wide receiver 40, non-PPR wide receiver 30.
Well, we didn't expect him to have a good first couple weeks, and he got hurt the first game, so
that hurt him. But ever since he's been back, 1 touchdown, not many yards. He's having a lot of games where 8 catches, 40 yards. That's not going to get it done in my book.
It's a good flex option, though.
Yes, he's a start. I'm sorry. Every week, every team I have Godwin on, I've started him every week. He's healthy, but Christian Kirk, I think, is getting near that elite level. What do you think, DK Metcalf or Kirk?
See, I don't even own either of these guys. Like, I don't really pay attention to these guys.
Kirk's outscoring him, but we know Metcalf is an athletic freak.
Yeah, athletic's definitely better.
You want Metcalf?
He has Walker, he has Lockett, Noah Fant, Will Disley. Those are just targets that take away from.
Yeah, not really with tight end. I mean, Christian Kirk has. Then you could bring up Zay Jones, Marvin Jones, Evan
Yeah,
Ingram,
that's
ETN.
true. That's true. I don't know. DK Metcalf's a dog. He's a straight dog.
Okay, so you're taking Metcalf over him.
Yeah, why not?
I tell you this, I take Godwin over Metcalf, so I'm absolutely taking Christian Kirk over Metcalf. I got one more for you. Metcalf's running mate. You know,
Hmm.
Lockett or
He's
Kirk.
touchdown boomer bust.
Really? Okay. Okay, but Lockett's been better than Metcalf this year, in
Hmm.
PPR.
Has he? I don't own these guys. I haven't looked at their stats.
Yeah, Lockett has been good. He hasn't been that boomer bust player that he's been in the past. He's been very consistent with
Okay.
Gino. I don't know how. I'm a big Gino hater. We talked about this, but I think I like Lockett more than Metcalf, but I'd take Kirk over Lockett for sure.
Do you have the 49ers on that list over there?
Yes, right now. Next, we'll bring it up right
Perfect.
now. So the
Perfect. I've been waiting to talk about that. I mean, I fell asleep during the game because I was pretty tired, but I watched some of it.
so the first thing I got to bring up, it jumped off right away to me as a Christian McCaffrey owner in 3 leagues. Why is he splitting so much work with Elijah Mitchell? I have the stats right in front of me. Let
He
me
was
bring it
out
up.
touched.
So McCaffrey played 64% of the snaps with 14 carries and 6 targets for 77 yards. Elijah Mitchell, 36% of the snaps, 18 carries for 85 yards. So he had 4 more carries and a total of, with McCaffrey's receiving work, 8 more yards than
So,
McCaffrey did.
but he
So
actually had, I believe McCaffrey had 4 receptions and 14 carries. Mitchell had 18 carries and 1 reception. So they actually out touched him.
yes,
Wow.
and in less playing time too. McCaffrey 64% of the snaps, while Elijah
And get this,
36.
who was in the game at the end of the game at the goal line? It wasn't McCaffrey.
Yeah, it was Mitchell. Yep. Well, they switched it because McCaffrey did get the one goal line opportunity where he scored.
But it's
And
the
he
end of
had,
the game. It's the
yep.
end of the game.
And
Don't
they
you want
kept
your best?
showing McCaffrey on
Don't
the
you want your
sideline.
best player on the field?
Yep. And so the next topic with McCaffrey I
Well,
want to bring up is: are we worried about him being that top 5 first round caliber player now that we've seen Elijah Mitchell stealing all this work?
and it's his first game back too. Not
Yes.
even like they eased him in. That's
Also
tough
bye
because
week, so maybe
you know how the 49ers are with their running backs. They you don't
very
know,
good
you
point.
can't predict what they do. It's always been like that. So you really can't predict. McCaffrey's still a great talent. He'll still score points. He'll be involved in the receiving game. He'll get his touchdowns. Uh, maybe he won't put up the. I think he'll put up just because the 49ers are better, close to, if not equal to, what he scored in Carolina, just because they're so much better. They'll be able to move the ball downfield a little bit more, better quarterback. Uh, but it's, keep an eye on it though.
There's no doubt in my mind McCaffrey's 10 times more talented. I've seen
Yeah.
this situation so many times with Tony Pollard and Zeke. It's one of those things, or with Herbert and Montgomery. When the backup comes in, for some reason, the defense doesn't prepare as much for the run. So therefore, the backup, whether or not he's better or worse, just has more efficient numbers because they're not expecting it, or it's like a fresh legs type of thing, whereas the defense is tired. But I'm worried. I'm starting to think if Mitchell's getting all this work
Mm-hmm.
every week, without that touchdown, McCaffrey was a disappointment. McCaffrey it's supposed to be 20, 25 points. And without that, he didn't even score that with the touchdown. Imagine how bad he would have did without the touchdown. I'm starting to get worried.
I
I
think
can't really see top
he would
5
have had about
production from
12
McCaffrey.
points. 12 he would have had about 12 points, I think, or 11.8. He'll still be okay though. He's such a good talent. He's gonna score fantasy points.
He'll be better than okay. He'll be great.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's gonna be top 5. Like right now, I'm taking, if somebody offered me
Nick Chubb.
okay, that's tricky because in PPR, I have to flip. I'd probably take Chubb with Watson coming back, barely. In half PPR, I don't even consider it. I'm taking Chubb right away. In non PPR, smashing it except right as the offer was coming in. I was gonna say if somebody offered me Kelsey for McCaffrey, I'm taking Kelsey without hesitation. If someone offered me a healthy Cooper Cup, I'm taking Cooper Cup over McCaffrey. I'm starting to get worried about all these guys with the 49ers. It's just year after year that you can never count on one guy to be the guy. And it's just frustrating. They might be now I was trying to ask why are they doing this? Maybe, McCaffrey's an injury prone guy, and Mitchell, another injury prone guy from what he's shown. Maybe they're just trying to like work it so that they have both of them for the playoffs. But other than that, I don't get it. Like why what is Shanahan doing? Is he just afraid to give it all to one running back? It's so frustrating from a fantasy perspective.
Yep. We'll see.
So how do we feel about Mitchell rest of the season? Are you gonna assume next week if you have Mitchell, are you gonna assume he has a role again? Are you gonna start him going forward? Or are you wait and see type of thing?
In our Yahoo league, I might have to start him. Like Jerry Judy might not play. Keenan Allen is busted.
Oh, you're playing me next week.
Yeah, I am playing you.
Yeah, so I think you should totally sit Mitchell.
I might have. I don't even know. I gotta look. Oh, I was supposed to smoke you because you had all your players on a bye.
Yeah, but now I got Justin Fields, James Robinson, hopefully taking over this backfield.
I was in fifth place. Now I think I'm gonna drop to sixth. I think I looked at it. I'm still gonna be in sixth place. I think you're gonna go to fifth. It's gonna be a big game for both of us.
Absolutely, yep. I'm ready. Yeah, I'm no Fournette for me, no Godwin, no ETN, so no
No,
Walker for you,
no Walker, no Evans.
and hopefully no Keenan Allen.
Uh, I'm done. I'm done with him. I want to drop him so bad, but I just can't.
Please do, and let me have the first waiver.
I can't. I can't.
So real quick, I think Mitchell is going to have a role rest of the season. This is his first game back from injury. I don't think he'll be this good. I think his yards per carry were out of control. I think it was just a spur of the luck type of thing, fresh legs. The defense wasn't expecting it. I might start him as a bye week filler type of guy, but definitely keep an eye on this situation. And if God forbid McCaffrey gets hurt, Mitchell is a must start running back. Go out and add Mitchell in all your leagues right now. 10 team, I don't care. Add him 12 team, definitely add him 14 team. Never should have been a free agent in the first place. Go add Mitchell, spend your fab on him, maybe even trade for him, especially if you have McCaffrey.
Who we
All right,
talking about?
yeah, so to talk about now the other game, sorry, not the other game, the other team that they played, Chargers. What do you think about Justin Herbert? Kind of a disappointing game yet again. Is he startable without Keenan Allen and Mike Williams?
Overrated,
Okay.
especially with that trade that went down in our league.
Yeah, but how about this? I have this to say for you. It's hard to be a quarterback with a rib injury. He hasn't been running since the rib injury. He hasn't looked as good with the rib
Well,
injury. I still think he's a pen.
I will say this: he doesn't have much help. He throws the ball to Eckler every time, almost, and Eckler can't even run the ball. Eckler,
Yep, he struggled big time.
he can't. He's had one game where he's ran the ball great, and he cannot run the ball. He's just a great fantasy PPR god. That's what he is.
Yeah,
Well,
even
but-
half PPR, he hasn't been that great.
Yeah.
He's been really good, but some weeks he's definitely not consistent. So that's what I mean by not like great. I really should have said something else because he has been great, but not the most super consistent player. I would never take him first overall like you were talking about, but
He's number one. He's the number one running back in BPR. His ability to catch the ball.
you sure Saquon's not taking over that spot this week?
I don't know. Maybe.
Saquon, we'll talk about Saquon later, but
I don't think so though. We'll have to see. Maybe in number two.
Eckler's
I think
great
he's number one
for
still.
sure. He's great, but I want to bring back the Herbert question because now Everett got hurt too. So you have Josh Palmer, DeAndre Carter, and Eckler to throw the ball to, and Trey McKitty is the starting tight end. Do you start Herbert next week without Everett, Mike Williams, and Keenan Allen? Can you trust him as a top 12 quarterback?
Who are they playing?
Who are they playing?
Let's see. Let me see. I have it actually pulled up. Here's week 11. Chargers. They play the Chiefs. Sunday Night Football.
Should be a shootout.
Decent matchup. Yeah. Depends your other. I mean, if you're looking at the waiver wire and guys like Russell Wilson, are you really gonna start? I mean, he's playing the Raiders, but like, oh, he's just been so bad. PJ
Oh,
Walker, you're not gonna start him.
no,
Like, you're not
that's
gonna start Marcus Mariota. Maybe he might outscore him. You know, he rushes. You're not gonna start guys like Mills or Stafford.
Daniel Jones, Tom Brady.
Daniel Jones plays the Lions. It might be a decent matchup. Might be a high scoring game. Detroit doesn't have a good defense. You might have to stick with him. He might be your best bet, especially since you drafted him in the 5th round, 4th round.
Yeah, I don't. I think we're at the point of the season now where you draft somebody absolutely doesn't matter whatsoever. So I wouldn't get hung up on that. I would start guys like Kirk Cousins over Herbert. I'm not a big Geno guy. I would start Geno right now over Herbert. I would start Brady over Herbert. I would probably start not because of the matchup, but I'd consider Mariota in a different week over Herbert as well. I'm not a fan of Herbert until either two of Williams, Allen, and Everett get back. I need two of those guys back, and then I can trust Herbert again because I still see long term he's great, fantastic.
Yeah.
I'll take him for sure.
I do think he's a little overrated though.
Okay, well we'll see next year in Dynasty. I bet he's gonna bounce back. I think he's an undeniable top 3 quarterback, and I would take him all day.
Who won that trade?
Depends where the draft picks are. Because Devontae Adams is old. Justin Herbert's the type of guy where last year he was so good to the point where if you were offered 6 first-round picks, you decline it because he's the type of player you cannot trade without getting an elite quarterback back, like Lamar, Mahomes, or Josh Allen. That's
I
how
would
good
like to tell
Herbert
the
was.
viewers the trade though. So Team A traded Devontae Adams, Raheem Mostert, Dalton Schultz, and Justin Fields, a 2023 first, a 2023 second, 2023 third, 2024 first, 2024 second, and a 2025 first for Isaiah McKenzie, Justin Herbert, Joshua Kelly, and Westbrook Ian from Tennessee.
Nicholas Westbrook Aquino, who went
Westbrook
off
Akita, I'm
today.
sorry.
He went off
He
today.
did go off today.
2 touchdowns, what a day. But so the deal breaks down to 3 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks. Forget the third-round picks.
Yep.
So 3 firsts, 2 seconds. Fields, Adams, and Schultz for Herbert. I think the other side probably wins as long as those picks are not all late picks.
He's in like 3rd place somehow.
That's what I'm saying. It could really depend. We have to see. It's just wait and see. Right now it seems like the draft picks side is gonna win, but those picks could all miss. Devontae Adams could be retired in a few years, and Herbert could be the next Tom Brady.
But the funny thing is he's traded some of those picks. He's traded Adams, he's traded Fields to us. Like
Yep.
So it's like he's turned them into decent players though, which isn't good for us. So we have his picks.
I forgot he got Fields in that deal, but
Yeah.
that definitely persuades me to think that the guy Herbert lost that deal. But we'll see. We'll see.
Yep.
All right, so real quick, now to get to the next game, I want to talk about a quarterback that I was on one of my biggest bust lists of the whole season last year. Aaron Rodgers. Looks like Aaron Rodgers is back, baby. And he looked fantastic. 3 touchdowns, only threw the ball a total of 20 times. The Packers ran the ball 39 times. Is this the key for the Packers going forward? Do you think the Packers just run with Aaron Rodgers playing second fiddle to Dillon and Jones?
I mean, I'll say this: Aaron Rodgers is a GOAT, one of the GOATs, Hall of Famer. You got to trust whenever he has the ball in his hands, but maybe He scored 19 fantasy points. If we're talking fantasy wise, he had a good game for what it's been. He had an okay game overall. Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh, yeah, run the ball if it's working. Those two guys are good. But if it's not working, you gotta trust them.
it's one of those things where he's no Randall Cobb, no Romeo Dobbs. They didn't trade for anybody. They drafted Dobbs and Watson, but Dobbs is hurt.
Watson looked great today.
So yeah, well, I want to talk about that too. But I think the formula of success for them is to run the ball first and play like an old school team. That's what they did today. They beat a very good Cowboys team, a healthy Cowboys team with Dak, with Lamb. They're just missing Zeke, but do they really even need Zeke? I don't know. I think that's the key to this team. Aaron Jones looked great. Dylan looked good enough. Still a bust for where he was drafted, but he definitely looked good. I could see this being the new formula for the Packers. I think Christian Watson, is he legit? I don't know. What do you think? Is he a wide receiver 1 for the Packers going forward? Is he wide receiver 2 to
I don't
Lazard?
know because at one point we thought Lazard was the wide receiver 1, and then we thought, oh, it's gonna be Romeo Dobbs. Now it's like, oh, it's gonna be Watson. So I think it may maybe just depend on the game. Who's
For
hot,
sure.
And then
It'll never
Tunyon
be
Tunyon
one
gets
sided.
hot sometimes, and he had one
No,
point.
no.
Get hot
Yeah,
one.
Tunyon's done.
Yeah.
Drop Tunyon in every league that's not bigger than rostering like 200 players. Tunyon's terrible. He's horrible. There's so many better options. I could probably name 15 better tight end, maybe 20. Go ahead, Jawan Johnson. Forget
Yeah,
that.
I gotta add him because my tight ends are shot. Pitts
Well,
and
you're in big trouble then because Jawan Johnson is pretty bad too.
I am in that league. I'm in big trouble. Pitts.
I like Jawan Johnson's girlfriend though on TikTok. Shout out all our TikTok followers. Jawan Johnson's girlfriend posts a lot of TikToks and like doing like all the dances and stuff. Like she began lit on the
I
top of
didn't see
TikTok.
that. Who's
So,
his girlfriend?
you'll have to look up. Maybe I'll send you a link after this. We'll see. But to get on topic, I think I've believed Lazard has the potential to be the wide receiver 1 since his second game back, and he every week put together a good game, a good enough game to make me think he's the number 1 guy rest of the season. I don't care about Romeo Dobbs or Watson. I think Lazard is number 1, but I think Watson now after this performance has to get respect on his name, as Birdman would say. Put some respect on my name. I like Christian Watson as the wide receiver number 2 there until Dobbs gets back, and I think someone we're all gonna have to go out and add. We're all going to be crawling in waivers, fighting to go get Christian Watson.
Mm-hmm.
And don't hesitate because Aaron Rodgers will turn it around at any point. Trust Aaron Rodgers. Remember what he said years ago. RELAX. Relax. Don't panic when it comes to Rodgers. He always figures it out. All right, so on the other side of the game, the Cowboys. They looked okay. They look good. But the one that looked great that ended up killing me in a few leagues, CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee's nuts, baby. What do you think of Lamb? What do you think? CeeDee Lamb is wide receiver number 1 rest of season.
With Dak back, he's probably like a top 8.
Oh, really? Okay. I was going more so top 15, 16 side. So what are your arguments for top 8?
Who's better? Who's gonna name 7 guys that you'd have
over Lamb?
Tyreek Hill, Cooper Kupp, if he plays. Waddle. Stephon Diggs.
That's 2 just on the same team.
Stephon Diggs, Cooper Kupp.
Stephon Diggs, Cooper Kupp are definitely great calls. Justin Jefferson, without a doubt. I would say Ja'Marr Chase if healthy.
Oh, he's not.
He's not healthy. Davante Adams, no doubt.
They're about equal.
No way. Look at Davante Adams' numbers. He's smoking. Not even close. Davante is elite, bro.
He is, but
he had one game where he was injured. Other than that, he's been fantastic every week. I'm taking AJ Brown over Lamb.
Nah.
Oh, you're how? What? Lamb has not shown anything other than this last game. AJ Brown has been destroying Lamb.
Yeah, because he had Cooper Rush throwing him the ball.
Yeah, but Dak has been back for a while now. Have you seen how Lamb has
been back for 2 games?
and for 3, right?
I believe it's 2.
In those 2 games, Lamb has 16 catches. You know, like it's not. And look at Lamb had great games with Cooper Rush. You know, he started the game off bad. He started the year off bad with Dak, but he looked really good with Cooper Rush at times.
Yeah.
I'm taking Amon-Ra St. Brown
So
over Lamb for sure.
right here, I'm looking at it. 1. So it's Cooper Cup, we said, Stephon Diggs, Tariq Hill, 3, Devontae Adams, 4, Justin Jefferson, 5, AJ Brown, 6, Jalen Waddle, 7, CeeDee Lamb, 8.
Give me Amon-Ra St. Brown over
Hmm.
Lamb for sure.
Nah.
Give me T. Higgins over Lamb if
Nah,
Chase is out for the
no.
season. If if Chase comes back in 2 weeks, give me Chase over Lamb for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. Definitely Chase Overland.
Give
So
me
last 2 games. Okay, Dak came back against Detroit, so it's been 3 games. You're right, but
yeah, and
that
two
was a
good
bad game for him. That was a bad game
2 bad
overall. That
games
was
with
his
Dak.
first game. So no, 18 points and 38 points. Those are 2 pretty good games.
The first game of the season. Dak played most of the game. He didn't get hurt till the end of the game.
Can't count that game.
Why? He played most of the game.
That was the first game.
So that's not an excuse. Devontae Adams,
He
AJ
got
Brown,
hurt.
Amon-Ra St.
They
Brown.
got smoked. He got hurt. I'm not counting that game. I'm counting it from now. You said the rest of the year. You said the rest of the year, not from the beginning of the year.
I know, but we have 4 games to go off of, and I don't think Lamb is nearly top 8. No way. I'm taking Mike Evans over him. I
You-
consider taking
DeAndre Hopkins.
I would take Hopkins over.
Yeah, I would probably take DeAndre Hopkins too.
I
I'd rather
consider
him.
Chris Olave over him as
No,
well.
no, he scored 7 points, 13 points, and 10 points. He's doing nothing.
He's had some few bad weeks, but his ceiling is through the roof. If Winston comes back, I'm
Maybe
taking
Winston
Olave
is back,
over
but I
Lamb.
still wouldn't go with
Amari
Olave over
Cooper
him.
is up there as well.
He's been good. He's definitely been good.
Because guess who's coming? Deshaun
Yeah,
Watson.
Watson.
I'm taking Cooper over Lamb because with Deshaun Watson, I want his #1 weapon. Give me all of that smoke. Amari Cooper over
Maybe
Lamb.
top 10, maybe not 8, probably top 10. I wouldn't take some of these guys like T Higgins for him. He's number 2 on it. I mean, he's great, but he's number 2 on his team.
All right, real quick. Do we trust Dalton Schultz? A good game, a touchdown, 6 catches, 60 yards. What do you think of Dalton Schultz? Is he startable rest of the season?
Yeah. At the tight end position, you have to.
I agree. Yeah. So real quick, Dalton Schultz or David Njoku rest of the season?
Uh, um, we don't know what. We don't know how Watson if Watson will like Njoku. But I'll go with Schultz.
I agree. You got to go with Schultz. Schultz or TJ Hawkins?
They're about the same.
I'm taking Hawkinson. I don't think it's close. Schultz or Gerald Everett? What do you think?
Schultz.
Schultz or Firemouth?
I like Dak better.
I agree. Schultz over both of those guys for me. What about last one? Kittle or Schultz?
Kittle's a dog.
You
Kittle's
taking
just,
Kittle?